It's time for Focus Forward, sponsored by Invest Grand Bahama. It's Grand Bahama's best talk show, highlighting all of the positive things happening in Freeport.
Look forward to our special guests each week that will tell you about events, activities, and initiatives that are making a remarkable impact on our community.
You'll also hear from local business owners and get a heads up on deals and special promotions. It's time to Focus Forward.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Grand Bahama's Best Talk Show, Focus Forward, sponsored by the Invest Grand Bahama unit of the Grand Bahama Port Authority. My name is Glendia Sweeting, Manager of Quality Assurance and Special Projects, and I am so delighted to be here with my co-host today, who recently did a very special Father's Day show with me. Right? And we had a wonderful time down at Taino Beach. And so we just started to enjoy everything that we saw there, have the experience, invited some businesses and talked about what's going on. And it reminded me of how beautiful Grand Bahama is. But it also reminded me that as beautiful as it is, sometimes, just like when we were on the beach, the waves get a little rough. And so now we are officially in the hurricane season. And so it's really important for Focus Forward each and every year to bring you a show that will allow you to learn more about some of the things that you can do to plan and prepare as best as possible with your family. And so that is what today's show is all about. This is the Hurricane Preparedness show. And we would have put together with Alex Thompson, my co-host, an array of persons that will be sharing lots of good information with you. So take out your notepads and make sure you share this video, whether you're watching on social media or if you're watching on television. Let persons know when they can watch the broadcast Thursday nights at 8 o'clock on ZNS or Saturday mornings at 10 for the rebroadcast, so that they can also be informed. So without further ado, yes,
getting ready.
We want to get ready for this hurricane show.
Just make a little excitement
She
going
chose
on.
everything.
Yeah. Do you know people are asking me when are we having our hurricane preparedness show? They look forward to it.
Well,
it's a reminder.
That's a good thing.
It's a reminder. I was asked, I said, you know, having your hurricane preparedness show? Because we're able to provide the information that they want to know.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what Focus Forward is all about, giving that information to the community. So stay tuned and let everybody know. If you want to know where to go for things in Freeport, come to the Focus Forward show, sponsored by Invest Grand Bahama and the Grand Bahama Port Authority. And so I would like to welcome to our Focus Forward set today two gentlemen that work in the Building and Development Services Department. The first is Mr. Dudley Francis, who is the Chief Building Manager over in Building and Development Services. And also we wish to welcome the Assistant Manager of Building and Development Services, Mr. Donovan Cox. Thank you guys so much for being with us.
Thank you for having us.
Look at that in unison.
I'm telling you,
I know,
because that's how they work, in unison, as a team.
You know, the fact that you got them both on at the same time, I'm just telling you. No, I hope all the staff in the office is paying attention. Y'all better not be goofing off.
Oh, goodness.
Because they're out.
So if we can start first with Mr. Francis. Mr. Francis, let's talk about hurricane preparedness, right? And from, I guess, kind of from a macro perspective, the Grand Bahama Port Authority certainly plays a role in assisting the city to ensure that post a storm event, we are in the best position to recover as much as possible and to help residents and businesses recover. So tell us about the plans that the Building and Development Services would have put into place to ensure that in this year for 2026, should we, in an unfortunate case, do have a storm, what are some of the plans in place to help persons go through the recovery phase?
So as you would have mentioned from a macro level, some of the things that we would have started, especially from the start of this year, one of the first things we would have done is in conjunction with the DRM Association to inspect all our hurricane shelters, because we know that is one of the most essential things for residents who want to make sure, especially if they're in areas where their homes might be affected and they have to evacuate, then you want to make sure that they go into a place that's safe for them to seek shelter. So that's one of the first things we would have done. Internally, we also would have been going through our training exercise with all our inspectors. We would have had some newer staff members, and so we wanted to bring them up to speed with worst case if they have to get into action, if we should have any incidents whether it's a hurricane or flooding type situation, so that they would be prepared to deal with these things. So going through the exercises of assessing buildings, infrastructures that we have in the city. And then, of course, even at the city level, we have been looking at all our drainage, because that's also another area where we usually have issues to address in the event that we do have any hurricanes or any other natural form of disasters. So our city maintenance department would have been looking at that, and our counterpart also in DevCo would have been looking at all our drainage systems just to make sure that they're good, in good working order. Also, one of the other things that we have been doing is coordinating with our utility providers, because again, one of the main things that we usually have issues with whenever we have any disasters would be like our power might be out, our water system. So we want to make sure that we have good collaboration with those providers, the Grand Bahama Power Company, to make sure we are on board as far as how they would be re-energizing things that they would be looking to address, especially as it relates to our essential facilities, places like our hospital, our fire station, police department, and other essential facilities that would cause us to be up and running throughout the city. And two other things I'd also like to say is we also would have been coordinating with Sanitation Services just to make sure that residents are aware of things that they can proactively do even at this point before any disaster occur. For example, if they have things around their homes that need to be taken to the landfill, that they make arrangements with sanitation to have those things removed, so that in the event we do have a disaster, the system is not inundated with a large amount of debris where persons would be trying to clean up at that point. So they can be proactive by start doing that. And also, one other more important point, if persons recognize that their homes, their businesses might be vulnerable to, say, for example, structural damages, or might be affected by any electrical system, for example, where their electrical supplies come into the building, those connecting points might have any issues, for them to go ahead and pull the necessary building permits to have them addressed. There is still time that can be done, and we have been working with residents, property owners in general, persons who have commercial facilities, even in the industrial sector. If they come into us and they make it clear that this is something related to just being proactive to be hurricane prepared, then of course we'll work with them to make sure that they get up to speed. And also our contractors, another very important point, especially persons who are doing construction work, portions of their buildings might be vulnerable at the stage where they're at. We're encouraging them to make sure secure those areas so that if there should be any disaster, it would not be a problem for them. So those are some of the things that we would have been.
You were very, very detailed in your response.
Yes.
And
yes.
questions were coming to mind, and as questions were coming to mind, you were answering them. And let me just switch back over, because listening to you, I'm like, oh, I need to get your number, put you on speed dial, because I'm about to, bring you to my house, which obviously I can't do that, right? But I'm sure people are asking you, check on your shelters to make sure they're equipped. And you said for property owners to look at the debris around their yard, but what are some things that they can look for at their home that would make them be aware that I need to address this? What are some things they should consider to look at? Because that's the first thing came to my mind. Well, if you're going to check the shelter, how do I know my house is ready and secured? What are some things that I should look for?
Right. So in most of the disasters we would have had, going back from like Hurricane Francis, Jane, Matthew, Dorian, we noticed there were three major modes of disaster failures that occurred, whether it's high wind conditions or flooding, or also tornadic activities. So one of the things they want to look at with the relevant professional, like a contractor, If they know, for example, they have a gable end roof as a part of their roof system that usually is susceptible to failure during a hurricane, and they have to shore up those to try and address those. Again, they might need a building permit for that. If they're glazing, that's their windows. If they have doors with glazing like glass, if they are not impact resistance, then they might have to look at having shutters in place. Or where they can have impact resistant glazing to make sure those are in proper working order. Sometimes it might be even the operators for these type of glazing, like their windows, they might have to change those if, say, there are any issues. So little things like that. And also even things when it comes on to if you for some reason have to be in your home in a hurricane and you want to identify those areas of your home that could potentially be a safe room or a safe area, meaning places like your bathroom, if you have a closet that's well built, well reinforced. Look at what you need to have in those spaces so that if you have to bunker down in there during a hurricane, you have all the things that you would need. And also, if your home is in a location where you might have to address any drainage concerns, they want to look at those. Also, anything that potentially could damage your home. Let's say you have trees close by with limbs that needs to be trimmed, things like that, they might want to look at. And then, of course, personal care. You want to make sure your insurance is in place, all necessary insurance you need to have, anything related to your health, medication, and so forth. Having things like a first aid kit, things like even a life jacket, if God forbid you have to deal with any sort of flooding situation. But I go back to the point as well. Also identify, based on where you live, where is the nearest hurricane shelter, so that if you do have to evacuate, you know exactly where to go.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for that, Mr. Francis. Some very good tips and things that people really need to be reminded of. So we really appreciate that. If I can come on over to Mr. Cox. Mr. Cox, one of the things that persons would normally be concerned about during the time of a storm or after a storm would be if they no longer have access to power. Right. And I'm coming to you because I know that you are the #1 person after a storm that everybody would have to go through in some way, shape, or form through your office to ensure that they can have those things regenerated properly. Right. And of course in conjunction with what needs to happen over on the side of the power company as well. And so if you could kind of take us through that process. If someone post a storm needs to get their power turned back on, what happens and what do they need to do? Right.
Well, my colleague may have touched on a lot of things, but to answer your question, the first step is to, we have an application in the event of you do have an incident in your home or business has been compromised in any which way. Before we could come out and do an inspection, we come into the office, fill out the building permit application. The applications are free of charge, Alex, so there's no charge for our services.
In my brain.
During the restoration period. And so we come out and we assess structures, not just for the electrical component of it, but the electrical component may be compromised based on your structural, plumbing, or mechanical components that's in the structure. And so the first step is to fill out the application and then to provide us with the correct legal address. We don't live to the street around the corner by James' house. And so we have subdivisions. Right. Which is completely different from your polling divisions. So we have subdivisions, and you have block, and then you have a lot.
They can't say constituency east.
No, ma'am.
No constituencies. Yeah, no.
But we have done a tremendous amount of work in marrying both systems together. Okay. With the constituency map and the land use map. So we have an overlay and try to make things a little less burdensome on our customers. But sometimes it may depend on the gravity of the storm. Individuals may have to wait, but we do have our GIS department have a map that we overlay. So if you come in with your constituency in Poland, which will take a little bit more time for us to pinpoint exactly where you live, But the best thing is to know your legal description, your subdivision first, your block, then your lot, and then the street that you reside on. And so the electrical component may be fine within the home, but when we go out to do assessments, if there's a structural, plumbing, or mechanical issues that may hamper you from residing in the home or utilizing your electrical system safely, we point those out to you so that the homeowner can now have those addressed correctly, and then we will give the okay for power to be restored to the structures.
Is it the same circumstance as it relates to businesses? You know, a lot of times persons may be at home, but the one thing they're worrying about, because they know what's happening at home, they're wondering what's happening with my business. Right. So is it the same process for the business owners as well?
It is the same process with the business owners. A little bit different is the fact that not all business owners own the structure that they're in. And so the property owner would now either have to come in or put a mechanism in place where one of their tenants, who could be responsible enough to fill out these applications in the event of their absence, to get the ball rolling, so we could have services restored correctly to the property.
Well, it sounds pretty easy.
Yes.
We just need some important facts. Make sure I know. Subdivision, lot, block,
legal
lot.
description. It's on your conveyance. In some cases, it's on your
But
conveyance.
we have to know that because, for example,
We'll be telling them now.
someone like me would have lost all those documents in our last storm, and that
Right.
may have been the case too. But I like that you pointed out that the permit is free.
So I think one of the things that persons can do, if you would have lost it in the last storm, if there was a complete formal legal purchase that was done, that document would have been registered. So
Agreed.
you probably can go
Have to
to
go.
the office of the registrar and obtain yourself a copy. But it also brings up the idea that not only those home documents, but your passports and all of your
those
legal
things.
items, sometimes it helps to be able to, you know, secure them in the plastic, put them somewhere high or whatever have you. But put them on your email if you have to. Scan the document. Save it someplace safe. Maybe
I don't
put it
have
on a
power.
USB.
That's why I go
You
on
have
the
power
ham.
now?
No, that's what I'm saying. That's why I go on the ham. No, but that's important because a lot of people don't know that they do need to come in and get a permit application filled out. And the fact that you physically come out there, send your team out there to inspect the home, because some people may just try to get energized and have an issue. Do you know your lot and block
Yes, I do.
and subdivision?
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay.
I always did. And I work for the Grand Bahama Port Authority. I should know.
Okay.
But
Kudos.
but I know that we have to wrap up so quickly all of a sudden. But of course, I know that the segment has gone by so quickly. But I still want to talk to you a little bit, Mr. Cox, because I'm sure, although I asked the question, there are some other things that you might want to share that persons would need to know as it relates to the work that your office would do. What are some of the things that they can? What hampers your work being done exceptionally well? What are some of the challenges you have when it comes to, you know, because it's storm time, everybody is really heightened, things need to be done. What can make the process easier on your end if residents do something? What is that thing?
Patience, number one, because we are working behind the scenes, even though you may not see all the work that we do behind the scenes. We need to have patience. We need to exercise that patience. We understand that everybody is inconvenient, and at that moment, we cannot address everybody at the same time. So our restoration periods begins with the essential first, then we go to the commerce, and then we go to residential. So it may seem to be not in favorable of the residents, but in restoring a community, that's in the order where we bring order back to the community, have a functioning society. And so patience, I would say, is the first thing. Know that. Second thing is your legal address. Make sure you have all of the relevant information needed to make your process go through nice and smooth and quickly. And then to familiarize yourself with the list of licensees, contractors that is in the Grand Bahama Port Authority listing. And so if you do have need of a service, you would have already acquainted yourself with one or two of them, and you could now call on those persons in the need. We do have an incident, with God forbid, I'm praying that we don't have one this year. And, you know, residents could now say, I have this person, I have that person who I can call on in the event I need some assistance.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Well, thank you so much for that. Of course, for more information, for anything else that you guys may need to know, you can always reach out to the Building and Development Services Department, to the offices of Mr. Dudley Francis or Mr. Donovan Cox. And of course, we have a wonderful customer service team on the front end. So if you need anything, you can do that. You can also visit the GBPA site for the listing that Mr. Cox would have mentioned as it relates to finding out who the licensees are that can assist you for various things post-storm or pre-storm if there are some things that you may need. We have more to come. We will be right back right after this.
Welcome to Freeport, the reawakened, the reimagined, the rebirth, the Renaissance capital of the Bahamas. Over $1.5 billion in investments. Marinas, cruise ports, downtown revitalization, residential developments. We're putting the city on the map. Want to know more? Just log on. Your future is only a click away.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Grand Bahamas Best Talk Show Focus Forward. We are talking about hurricane preparedness today and doing our very best to bring you the guests that can talk about some of the things that you need to know as it relates to sanitation, preparing your homes,
Reconnecting
preparing
electricity.
your families, right? Your families, reconnecting your electricity,
Having a safe room.
going through the application process, yes,
Which was-
securing your documents. All of these things that don't seem important to us any other time of the year other than right now while we're in the season.
Knowing your legal address.
Yes.
Yes.
The legal address, not just the constituency and polling division.
And having a licensed GBPA contractor
Yes.
on speed dial.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Good
so
stuff.
this is some really, really good stuff. So we want to welcome to Focus Forward for the very first time two gentlemen that's representing Sanitation Services here on Grand Bahama Island. The first, Mr. Felix Bright, who is the Landfill and Maintenance Manager. Mr. Bright, thank you so much for joining us.
Morning, nice to be here.
All right.
And also we'd like to welcome Mr. John Fox, who is the Business Development and Project Manager with Sanitation Services. Thank you as well for being with us.
Thank you for having us.
you guys
So we
are
want
most
to
important.
start. Sorry?
They're most important
Of
to the
course.
island.
Absolutely. You know, we love Grand Bahama to be clean, green, and
Beautiful,
pristine.
pristine, beautiful Grand
Freeport.
Bahama.
Freeport is always that way, and we appreciate the work that you guys do on a normal basis to be able to keep Grand Bahama clean. And so let's talk to you first, Mr. Bright, if we can jump into the conversation. Proper waste disposal and debris removal is really important, not only after a hurricane, but also before a hurricane. So I'm sure Sanitation Services has already been in the process of planning for this hurricane season. Tell us a little bit about your plans.
Morning again. We try to get, the message out to the citizenry to plan as best as they can. If you have debris, containers, tree limbs, coconuts, whatever you may have in your yard at a early pre-season thought process that you want to get rid of, we encourage everybody to notify city planning and or LUSCO proper, because they're the ones who we liaise with in collecting garbage or collecting things that people have outside, to get them in place and notify as early as possible, because we are on, I think it is a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday pickup schedule for the city proper and for LUSCO. And I think it is Thursday, Friday for individuals that may have things of their own that they want to pick up that's out of the schedule, that we then use those 2 days for collection. So we send out the message as best as possible to have yourself prepped and ready and know what you want to get rid of, because if you wait until the deadline or when a storm is imminent, you have everybody calling, everybody wants collection, everybody wants focus, and then you basically get chaos. From our standpoint also, you don't have to wait on our equipment. If you have your own means of getting tree clippings, small stuff from your house, that is residents, they can bring them to the landfill free of charge. We just show them where to dispose of them, and they can move on from there. So as much preemptive work that you can do as possible would be in your best interest.
So do I need to have a pre-approval to come to the landfill? If I have debris to get rid of from my land, I just call a dump truck, come pick the stuff up and take it there?
Well, the pickup, if you want to call to have collection, then it's best that you go through city management, because they schedule it all in regards to which areas are being collected at which point in time.
Okay.
But if you want to come on your own, the landfill is open Monday to Friday, 8 to 4 p.m. and on Saturdays, 8 to 12.
And Saturday as well?
Yes.
I like
Saturdays,
my Saturday
8 to
spring
12.
cleaning.
So if you've got the ability to get your waste there, we'll be more than happy to accommodate you.
Now, you mentioned that we should call city management. A lot of times people clean out their yard, clean out their house because the storm is coming, and just push the debris across the road or in the lot next to them.
Yes,
And then
that
they don't
happens.
bother to call you. Should they still, I mean, they are assuming that you're just gonna, like you've said, you do a rotation. They assume that you're coming around. Can you let them know that they still need to call?
Yes, calling is of the utmost importance, because one, you notify city management, they have their schedule, as I said, that they have us collect on. And if you can't get them, you can notify our office. We can then try to relay the information as best as possible, so we can then get everything planned and collected. The areas are not fixed, I would say, weekly. So I ask about it. I think it's maybe every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks turnaround. So if you see them this week, you may not see them for another 3 weeks, because they're collecting other areas to cover the entire island.
What about, because Alex mentioned the mix of things that would normally be out there. So someone decides it's hurricane season, so I'm going to get rid of my fridge today because I'm going to buy a new one, right? And then they also said, well, I have these really nice palm trees, and my yard just got clean, so I'm going to take these trees and just throw the fridge on top of those trees because everything just needs to go.
Get out.
Is there a set protocol, or even something that just helps sanitation to be able to manage collection better that residents may need to do?
Well, we've been trying to encourage the community to separate garbage, because we're trying at our facility to be as green as possible, to repurpose as many things as possible. So if you've got appliances, it's best if you can put appliances on one side and green shrubs on another side, so that when they do come through for collection, they may collect all the greens today and at some other point come and get the appliances. If you bring them down, we've got a few different dump locations at the landfill. So you can throw tree clippings in one area and appliances in another. So we try to encourage separation of garbage, if that answers your question.
Okay,
Yes.
It certainly does, because I know that's one of the challenges that we have through our corner, and I think every time I have an opportunity to say to someone at sanitation that this is a challenge, just hoping that I have the right protocol in my mind, so that the separation can continue.
Separation
and
is something that
we could arrange a proper pickup.
Yes, separation is something that we are trying our utmost to educate and try to enforce and encourage people to do. And it makes handling of garbage much easier, much simpler.
Okay. So, Mr. Fox, if we can come on over to you, tell us a little bit about your portfolio and what is it that we can expect out of a business development as it relates to this upcoming hurricane preparedness and this season.
Okay, well, as you had mentioned at the beginning of the session, that we do have a plan, a post-hurricane recovery and waste management program. And the main objective, we're working along with the GBPA, with the fire and police, with the GB Power, because it's critical to, after a storm, to make sure it's safe, first and foremost, before we can go out and survey the city. It usually happens in several phases. The phase one would be to get all the critical infrastructure access cleared so that they can also begin to respond. Phase 2 then becomes clearing all the major highways so that we can connect the various areas of the city to facilitate emergency response and also the removal of debris. The third phase is pretty much clearing the feeders off of the main highways. And lastly, we get into the residential areas and so that homeowners can have access and be able to leave their homes.
So I could imagine a lot of the work that you just mentioned in those various phases, those things happen before the all clear is given. What are some of the challenges that you guys may face before the all clear is given, trying to get that work done? In terms of whether some residents want to go and have moments of taking photographs and those kinds of things. What are some of the things that you face that you would, I guess, discourage persons from doing so as to not to delay your efforts?
Well, I think you might have pretty much said it. Residents need to stay in their homes until the all clear is given, because if people are out driving the streets, it impedes our ability to be able to remove debris as quickly as possible. And it's not just removing debris. We'll have fallen trees, lamp poles, all of these kind of things need to be cleared off of the highways. And, it's quite possible that a line can be live. So like I said, we coordinate with GB Power to make sure that everything is de-energized before we could go ahead and move stuff. But first and foremost, to get the roads clear, we don't need people driving up and down the road taking pictures. I don't know what else to say.
Sounds like that's your number one complaint.
I can imagine. Yeah, I can imagine.
It's been our experience that happens quite often, where you have people that are sightseers. They want to go out and see what's taking place, what's been damaged, and they really impede our function of trying to clear roads and get things out of the way. And really, it's really unsafe. And unless you're prepared to deal with it, it makes no sense you be out.
I don't think people realize how unsafe it is, or how much it hinders you because they're in the way. And I think we just need to continue to push that message out that stay indoors until the all clear is given. Now, I don't think people understand the magnitude of how important sanitation services is to the island. I really don't think they understand.
You are in my head right
now. And so much of what you do for the residents, I know people are going to think it's your company, you make all this money, but so much of what you do for the residents is 100% free to us. The fact that we can go to the landfill 100% free. The fact that you come around and pick up the debris on your cycle is 100% free.
Free to the residents,
but
there is always a cost attached.
I understand that. And I don't think we'll understand. Right,
that's what I'm saying.
To the residents.
I'm just saying.
To make sure the island stays. The fact that you also, on our main arteries, you're constantly having men out there picking up and removing. So I see that you've started clearing away trees. I don't think people realize the cost and the amount of time and work. So if I might ask, when does your pre-hurricane, plan start? When do you start cutting down? It seems like you started from January, but I mean, because I'm like looking at the trees, all these limbs are gone. I'm like, are they getting ready for hurricane already?
Well, for the most part, we start, I would say, cutting further out early in the year, maybe around January, February, when the rainy season is down, so you don't have as much growth in the city. So it gives us an opportunity to do further out. Once we start to move into the city, all of the overgrown trees that are in power lines, the whole 9 yards, we coordinate with GB Power and our cleaning crew to come behind and do so. Now, when it comes to litter pickup or collection, little buggies that you see on the street, it amazed me when I first came to sanitation, and the number has gone up since then. We do about 100, 200 bags on the main thoroughfares every day.
A day.
That is absolutely ridiculous.
But just the main thoroughfare. That means just the East Sunrise, the Coral, just the main roads, not the.
We collected today, and it's the same thing tomorrow.
The same thing tomorrow on the same road.
And I wonder who pays for that.
Precisely.
Yeah, but
I'll
it's
stop being nasty.
it
Cut
really
it out.
begs the question, right? But of course, we just have to continue to pass the message and help people to understand why. But we appreciate the work that Sanitation Services would do for us on a regular basis, because otherwise this place would be not good to live in.
Where's my
Not
camera?
good. So we can't get to beautification if we're always
Stop being
spending
nasty.
monies. If we're always spending monies on cleanup. So we have to make the transition. But I have one more question before I just do a final round with you guys. How long does it really take, based on your experiences, Dorian, biggest water storm,
It's a
Matthew,
big question.
perhaps one of the biggest windstorms, over the years, how long does it really take for Sanitation Services to say, we have cleaned up as much as we can, all of the areas throughout the city of Freeport, and now we can go back to normal operations after a storm? How long does that take?
What a question. I'm waiting on that answer.
Based on experience, it varies. Dorian was more of a water-laden storm, so you had a lot of physical water damage. So we had a lot more C&D, construction and demolition, buildings that got destroyed. So that process, when I say the major bulk of it, I would say about 5 months.
Wow.
All right, so we got hit early September. I think we were still collecting stuff December going into January. All right, and to be honest, there's still some people that are in some dire straits today that have not really recovered. The others that were more wind friendly, you get more tree debris, stuff like that. And I think the major wind issues creates more issues for GB Power per se in a large scale than it does for us. Because again, with the folk who want to sightsee, when you have down power lines, down phone lines, it minimizes their ability to salvage it. Because people start to drive over it and all this kind of stuff, and they damage the wires, they damage the lines that they may have had an ability just to secure and rehang. All right, so those are all reasons why it's in the best interest for everybody to stay in place from the cost standpoint and the safety standpoint.
Say it again. You want to say it strong. Stay inside. You want.
stay
I feel
inside.
you want to
I
say
think we
stay
get,
inside.
I think we get that message. But just as we wrap up, Mr. Fox, any final thoughts from you coming from your area?
Well, for me, this is on a personal note. I'm a Hurricane Dorian survivor. I was over the bridge in the Derby subdivision. They had 20 feet of water. And I thought I was prepared. But I found out that I wasn't. So I want to encourage the general public. You know, this is the time now to be preparing for hurricanes, not like hours before it's going to hit. So, you know, survey your property, get rid of loose debris, you know, and even after you've done that, go over it again, because it's something that you might miss. And if it's stuff you got to keep, you got to figure out a way to secure it.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you both so much, Mr. Bright, Mr. Fox. Coming from Sanitation Services, we truly appreciate the work that you do. And of course, throughout the hurricane season, we're hoping that we do not have a storm, but at least we know. Unfortunately, if we go through a storm, we know that we have the support of your team to be able to help us through recovery along with others. Listen, we have so much more that we have to talk about. We don't need you to go anywhere. You need to continue to learn about how to prepare. So we'll be right back right after this.
Hi, and welcome to Edwin's Screen Printing and T-shirts. At this business, we offer screen printing, we offer dry fit, we offer vinyl, we offer sublimation, we offer screen printing, we offer a multitude of things. Anything you need placed on a shirt, a cup. We also offer vinyl, we sell T-shirts, we sell cotton shirts, dry fit shirts, long sleeve, short sleeve. If you are a local vendor who supplies things for tourists or anyone where you offer a business, we supply shirts, we supply everything for you right here. If you are interested in birthday shirts, funeral shirts, graduation shirts, just because shirts, it's here. anything you need. We also offer embroidery, and we are here just to serve the Grand Bahama community. So come on down to Edwin's Screen Printing, and we are located in the Island Luck Plaza next to Lexus Chicken. You can contact us at 602-7184.
Welcome to Freeport, the reawakened, the reimagined, the rebirth, the Renaissance capital of the Bahamas. Over $1.5 billion in investments. Marinas, cruise ports, downtown revitalization, residential developments. We're putting the city on the map. Want to know more? Just log on. Your future is only a click away.
Hi everyone, we're right here on Focus Forward on the #1 Hurricane Preparedness Show.
Get it right.
What is it?
The #1 Hurricane Preparedness Show.
Here for the city of
all the
Freeport.
most important people that you need to find information from right here on this show.
Okay.
We need a part 2.
We do need a part 2,
Yeah.
and there are some other persons that we need to speak with in order to make sure that you get the information that you need. So we're going to make sure work on
Make
that
it
for
happen.
you, and of course,
Your power, utility, make
we
it
have
happen.
we have some persons that we can bring to the table, and so we're going to work on that, and we'll get it done for you. So we want to get into our last segment. We want to be able to talk to 2 other very important organizations on the island that are very critical as it relates to recovery post a storm. Also, you need to be able to kind of jot down some information. Maybe you want to put some numbers, maybe you want to put your little list together, because some of the persons that we're talking to are also sharing contacts and people that you need to reach out to. So you need to be able to take some notes and be ready in the event, that unfortunate event, that something may happen.
All right,
and
teacher.
so we want to
All right, teacher, take the notes. Take all the notes.
we want to welcome to our Focus Forward show Miss Misty Adderley. She is the Finance and Administrative Officer with the Bahamas Red Cross Society here in Grand Bahama. Miss Adderley, we're so happy to have you.
Nice to be here.
It's good to have you. Welcome. And of course, we also want to welcome from the Grand Bahama Development Company and Lucaya Service Company, this gentleman right here, Mr. Franklyn Pinder, who is the general maintenance worker for that area. He does a whole lot. His title really does not speak to the
what he does.
amount of work that he does. And I know, because I go out on the field and I audit with them. He does a whole lot of work, and of course, he is one of the key persons that would really be assisting along with a few others if, in fact, we do have a storm and there are some things that need to be done in the Lucaya area. So thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Pinder.
Glad to be here.
I have lots of questions for you, Mr. Pinder of LUSCO.
Oh, goodness.
That's where I am.
Well, the hot seat is right here with Miss Adderley, apparently, but anyways, I guess it's transferring over here to Mr. Pinder.
I like her title, though. I like her title, Finance.
Yes. She's the money lady.
She's where the money goes.
So, Ms. Adderley, if we can start with you, tell us a little bit about the work that the Red Cross would normally do.
The work that we would normally do is to be there to assist persons in need of a disaster. Other than that, we're here just to give general support to the community when it's needed.
Okay. What are some of the things that the Red Cross would do to be able to assist persons in the community? How are you preparing to assist them?
We serve as shelter managers and first responders with the Disaster Relief Authority. We will go into the shelters and to make sure their safety and well-being is taken care of.
Now, I know the Red Cross is a nonprofit organization, and they're in the community, and I'm sure a lot of people want to know, how can they help? How can they help? Are there volunteer opportunities available at the Red Cross?
Yes, we have many volunteer opportunities at the Red Cross. They could assist with the Meals on Wheels program. You can assist with our garden. You can just make donations. You can volunteer with us.
But I think now I know you said make donations.
Yes.
A lot of I have no problem talking about the money. So What are some of the things when people make donations, what does it go towards? Because they want to know, I'm giving money, what is it going to? I know one of the things is the Meals on Wheels.
We prepare hot meals Monday to Friday. And those meals we deliver to persons in the Freeport area, the Lewis Yard, basically throughout the community. So it's normally for the elderly and persons who may not have the ability to, provide
For
that
themselves.
for themselves, yes.
And you do this every day of the week?
Every day of the week.
And deliver?
And deliver.
Okay.
So we're always looking for donations. We're always having fundraisers.
Okay.
So we are having another fundraiser very, very soon.
What fundraiser is that?
This is the Chill and Grill, which will be August the 7th. We're selling tickets. Please come assist us. We need help selling the tickets and to purchase the tickets.
Okay. And I know we're going to move over to Ms. Franklyn in a moment, but as we get ready for the storm, do you offer training to your volunteers to be able to work once the storm is hit and is passed?
Yes, we do. We are continually ensuring that our volunteers are engaged in training and development, whether it's local at the office with the disaster risk management or 365 days out of the year. You can go on to our online learning portal, which is the International Federation of Red Cross, and you can do any training at any time.
That means all of our volunteers for post-hurricane and even pre-hurricane are going to be certified and equipped and fully trained.
Yes.
Awesome.
That's some good stuff. All right, thank you, Ms. Adderley, and we'll come back with final thoughts. We want to talk to Mr. Pinder for a moment. Mr. Pinder, Lucaya Service Company plays a huge role in terms of helping residents within the Lucaya area to recover after a storm. What are some of the things that your team would do to help your company be prepared prior to a storm?
Well, for the past few years that I have been involved with hurricane preparedness, one of our main things that we would do would be prepare. Whether it be with giving the instructions to the residents to try and get your debris out in a respectable time, whether it be with us preparing our verges, drains, even with ourselves with pre-training for what we would do in a disaster, how we would respond. We just try to get the message out there to get yourself ready and, just do what is necessary to make sure that you and your family are safe.
Okay. I know we're talking about hurricane preparedness, and we're making a clarion call for people to be prepared. But what Glendia would have mentioned, you do a tremendous job on a daily basis.
Yes, ma'am.
Give us an idea of the things that you're doing now, even before hurricane, that keeps the city ready.
Well, the things that we do now to keep the city ready would be the installations of the cat eyes on the streets. Or, in the event that the power goes out, those would help to assist us in knowing exactly where we're at on the road, on the streets. If you go out in the city of Lucaya, you will notice that we would have those same cat eyes. They'd be different, or they'd be color-coded. If you go and you will notice that we have some green cat eyes out there. Okay. Those are the cat eyes that marks our drains. So in the event that we are out in the dark, let's just say, and we notice that the streets are flooded, we could locate a drain to see if it's blocked, or if, and if it is,
we can find it easily.
We could find it.
Look, and we proactive.
Could go. Yeah. We could go there and we could clear it to try and to mitigate the rain from being on the streets.
Right.
So with that, we do some tree trimmings. So in the event, again, that we do have a strong hurricane, the branches that may have fell if they weren't trimmed, we try to, to alleviate that process. So even in the event that we have to do rescue missions, that wouldn't be a hindrance for us.
Now, we would have spoken to some persons prior, particularly sanitation, just before you came on, and we would have asked them some of the things that we as locals do that make it a hazard for them to do their job? What are some of the things that we do as curious, post-hurricane survivors that make your job a little harder that you'd want us to just stop doing?
Coming on the road before the all clear is given. that would be a tremendous help.
I think we need to make that a poster for
Yes.
social media.
Stay inside.
Yeah, I would advise the residents to remain inside until you get the all clear, because it makes it extremely difficult for us to, clear the streets and be mobile the way we need to and the way we need to move in the event, we do have to clear a street. A lot of times we have motorists that will come by and, they just checking out things and they'll be in the way.
Okay.
And, we out there and we telling you, okay, well, you can't, why can't I come by now? It's like, because you don't have the all clear. You don't have clearance to be here.
Okay.
So it would be best for you to stay inside. And a lot of times, people, I understand that you're curious. But there's a saying that says curiosity kills the cat. And we wouldn't want it to be a situation where you made it through the storm to come and be curious, and then you or your vehicle get damaged or you
in the
end
process.
up, in the hospital or whatever from being so curious.
So in essence, no dead cats.
No.
Right. So we know that the Lucaya area has several thousand residents and homes, and you guys traverse the streets and work in those areas every single day. What are some of the things that you see, more practical things that you see that some of the residents can do, considering some of the experiences that we have seen even after Hurricane Dorian? There were some boats, there were some cars, there were just things kind of scattered all over the place, things that became projectiles, etc. What are some of the things that your residents can practically do based on what you see when you guys are driving through doing your inspections every day?
Well, you can't tell people what to do, but I would suggest that once you see hurricane season comes in, try to start cleaning up before. Don't wait until the actual 2 or 3 weeks or 3 days before and you go out and you pile up everything on the side of the road to be picked up. Like now you can start to look around your yard and say, okay, well, this old freezer, this old grill, this old fridge, I don't use this. Let me put this out from now.
Yes.
Because once you leave those things or you put those things out and they're not picked up, they become projectiles. And you wouldn't want to be the one that you put your stuff out and it blows into the neighbor's yard and damage their car, their vehicle. Now you got to be on the other side of the fence trying to, well, how'd that happen? And you was the one who put it out there.
Right.
And you don't have time or we ain't have time to pick it up. So,
Right,
I would, now, let's start to prepare. We prepare early. There's a saying that I heard a wise man said before. And he said, if you fail to prepare, you automatically preparing to fail. I'm not saying that we're going to be failures or you're a failure, but we're on the show talking about hurricane preparedness and getting ready because we're in the season. So we, just little simple things. You could just start now looking around. Okay, I heard about what you guys were saying, and this is the initiative that I'm going to take. I can move the old car what I ain't used in 1,000 years. The old fridge, what I was saving for parts, and I know I ain't gonna never go back. I can put it out there, for sanitation to pick up. So these are the things that we could start, doing, just so it wouldn't be so burden, or it wouldn't be such a burden.
Right.
In the event that we do have a storm, and you got to get these things out of the yard.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Pinder. As we move into final thoughts, I want to move back to Ms. Adderley. I know that with your experience working at the Red Cross, you guys work so hard to be able to help the community. So if there was an appeal or something that you could put out to the community so that they can help you to help others, what would that be? What would you tell the residents of Grand Bahama? How can they help the Red Cross?
In many ways. Donations, volunteering.
They definitely need that.
They need to give the
And
money
I know a
and
lot
give
of
the
times
stuff.
they need money and they need food items.
But they also need the
They
donation,
need
the donation of
hands.
time.
Right.
Donation of time, volunteering, whether it's vouchers, credit at stores, we just need.
Okay.
I like
I didn't
that,
even
just
think
need.
about that. The credited stores.
Didn't think about that either. Yeah.
Yes.
I think one of the easiest ways to even be able to do that is just go to one of the food stores and purchase a
Gift
gift
cards.
cards, or I know one of our former guests, Commonwealth Bank, does those gift cards. So probably go and get something that could fit in your budget and take it over to the Red Cross and give them what they may need to be able to help them.
And who knows, the company might decide today to say to the staff, let's go by the Red Cross today just to volunteer to help clean out the garden.
Yes.
So that will be a big help to us.
Absolutely.
Now, where's the Red Cross located for those who don't know?
It's located on Jobson Avenue, that we consider in the back of town.
Back of
Back
town
of town.
area. Okay.
Downtown,
Listen,
that's
it's
my
almost
area.
like it's almost official. It's almost official.
Yes.
Back of town. Everyone knows where that is. So we definitely want to encourage persons, please be able to support the Red Cross Society. Of course, they are located in the back of town area, and they're not far away, and they do a whole lot to help the community, not just during storm season, but certainly every single day. So they need your help. Please, please, wherever you can, assist them. We also want to thank Mr. Pinder from Lucaya Service Company and the Bahamas Development Company, who will continue to work hard along with the team to ensure that the area of Lucaya is serviced as needed, and that everybody is planning and preparing on their team. Should, in the unfortunate event, we do have a storm, there are some plans in place, and we want you guys to know that. Follow their social media for the Grand Bahama Development Company, Lucaya Service Company, so that you can get the information that you may need. We've had so many wonderful guests today, lots of good information. Alex said we need to have a part two. And so we're going to look at working on that for you, because there are some other critical and key organizations that we need to bring to the table so that you can learn more. So we're looking forward to doing that. Of course, we want to thank all of our sponsors, Invest Grand Bahama, OMG, Visible Changes, Pretty Berry Essentials, Untangled Studio, and everybody that helps. We appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. Thank you to our viewers, our listeners, everyone who tunes in regularly, and even those who say, well, I didn't see Focus Forward last week.
Yeah, we got some.
Yeah.
Sometimes we take a break,
We have to take a break, yes, yes. But we can promise you we will always come right back. We will always be here for you. So thank you for inviting us into your offices, your businesses, and your homes. Grand Bahama's Best Talk Show, Focus Forward, is always here for you. And until next time, I'm Glendia Sweeting.
And I'm Alex Thompson.
Informing you on the positive things that happen when you focus forward.
You've been listening to Focus Forward, sponsored by Invest Grand Bahama. Like us on Facebook at Invest Grand Bahama Small Business Bureau to stay updated.
And drop a business card at the Grand Bahama Port Authority receptionist desk to have your business featured on our show. Tune in next Thursday,
Same time,
same place,
for Focus Forward.